Great. So thanks again for joining us today. Our webinar is going to be covering unlocking mobility, the future of work with Jamf for mobile. My name's Emma Wait. I'm one of the product marketing managers here at Jamf, and I'm joined today by Dr. Covington, who I'll let introduce himself.
Thanks, Emma. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Covington. I'm the Vice President of Strategy responsible for Jamf's Mobility Solutions. And thanks for joining us today for this webinar. It really is an exciting time to be here talking about mobile. So many industries are poised for radical transformation through the embrace of mobile. And yet, we hear time and time again that there are challenges. Success with mobile clearly requires more than just handing a phone to an employee. And so in this session, we want to explore what's needed to unlock the true power of mobility for your business. Our plan for today is as follows. We'll start by talking about the state of mobile in the enterprise. We'll try to bring some perspective on what we're hearing from the market and our conversations with customers and key players who have firsthand knowledge of how mobile really can transform a business. We'll look at the amazing potential and, of course, the inherent complexity that mobile workflows introduce for enterprise IT. And, of course, we'll look at some of the gotchas that are holding organizations back from realizing the full potential of mobile. Some of those challenges include business risks, including a rapidly evolving mobile threat landscape that IT and security leaders will have to collaborate on together to effectively manage mobile at scale. Toward the end of our time here today, we'll provide a brief introduction to the capabilities that Jamf has brought together to specifically address the needs of mobility and security teams that are looking to transform their businesses. And we're here to address any questions that you may have. So as a reminder, please do use the embedded features if you have any questions along the way. With that, let's get started with a big picture look at the mobility market. According to a recent survey that was sponsored by Verizon and published as part of their 2024 Mobile Security Index, 80% of admins say that mobile devices are critical to the smooth running of their organizations. That's a big number. We know that mobile devices have the potential to streamline operations across various business and job functions, but these survey results really do show how quickly organizations have evolved their use of mobile technologies. It really wasn't that long ago that mobile devices were used for some pretty basic applications. Email access on the go, maybe some instant messaging or some intranet browsing. So what we wanted to do is maybe just take a few minutes now to talk about some examples that really help reinforce this point about how mobile is now critical to business operations for many of you. And what better way to do this than to cherry pick a few industry examples where mobile success is going to be familiar to most of us. Let's start with healthcare. In this sector, following the implementation of electronic health records, it's not uncommon now for medical practitioners to exclusively use mobile devices to facilitate everything that happens at the patient bedside, capturing health data, logging observations, and filing prescriptions or treatment orders. In aviation, an area that many of us are familiar with given business travel, it's now fairly common for pilots to leave behind a physical briefcase that was historically full of maps and flight plans and manuals. And now we're seeing them embrace iPads, which run applications that are being updated in real time to meet all of their needs, from flight checklists and routes to troubleshooting guides. And all of this is being done within the tightly regulated aviation industry requirements, which is super interesting to look at. And last but not least, let's consider what's happening with field workers who use mobile devices, from delivery agents who use them for logistics and navigation, asset tracking, to repair technicians who work on everything from communications infrastructure to the power grid. Mobile helps organizations to operate more efficiently, to remain compliant, and it also helps employees to stay safe and to feel a sense of freedom and empowerment. But as everyone on this call knows, mobile's greatest strength is also what makes it so difficult to manage at scale. Mobile is so flexible that it can be challenging to establish standards that allow an organization to really operate effectively. The reality check here is that mobile is never one size fits all. And to start, let's just look at device ownership models. It's not uncommon for organizations to support a range of mobile device ownership models. This includes shared deployments for frontline workers, think nurses or retail associates who might operate on shifts and use devices that are designed to serve a particular function or purpose. These devices are typically stored in a common area and transitioned between employees as they rotate in and out of work. Take these shared devices and contrast them with those that are one to one or assigned to a particular worker. And of course, let's not forget the bring your own device model, which is a formally supported program for some of you, or maybe even the result of an organization that failed to define a clear policy for others. Regardless, managing all of these device ownership models can introduce complexities. We also see mobile taking on a variety of form factors. And even though the smartphone is perhaps the most ubiquitous form of mobile, tablets have taken off in recent years with certain industries where the form factor is just more suitable for workflows that require a larger screen. And beyond phones and tablets, we should also really need to be thinking about wearables like the Apple Vision Pro and digital signage, which is facilitated through tools like Apple TV, to be part of the mobility team's remit. And then lastly, we see organizations frequently dealing with a diverse set of operating systems in their mobile fleets. All of this adds up to an incredible amount of flexibility for the mobile worker, but also a fair amount of complexity for IT teams to manage. They are responsible. Scratch that. You are responsible for deploying and managing all of the devices across the business unit or organization in a way that really ensures users can achieve a desired productivity outcome. This includes security configurations based on each device's unique requirements, or maybe the requirements that are associated with the mobile worker themselves or the role that they're serving. And regardless of whether devices are shared and tightly controlled or personally owned and governed by privacy considerations, IT teams are increasingly being held to account for delivering a great end user experience. So, ensuring that the usability of the mobile devices is not impacted by all of the enterprise tooling that's necessary to realize these deployments is one of the key challenges that's before us here today. As if all this were not enough, the increased adoption and dependence on mobile means that there are greater security implications for organizations that use these devices for mission critical functions and to handle sensitive organizational data. That same survey we talked about just a few minutes ago that highlighted 80% of admins acknowledging mobile devices were essential to their business operation also found that 64% of admins believe that they are at significant or extreme risk from mobile threats. Some of the more common risks that we see impacting the enterprise include those examples that you see here on the screen. Increased frequency of data leaks, for example, whether they stem from users who inadvertently store company data in unsanctioned applications or apps that fail to encrypt data in transit to backend storage facilities. Unauthorized access to private user information. And if users feel that their privacy is not being respected on a mobile device, they are way less likely to utilize it fully, thus impacting the productivity that you invested in it for the first place. Unsanctioned third-party application downloads and usage, which is the modern equivalent of shadow IT. No organization wants company data to be stored outside of the footprint of apps and services that you deemed acceptable from the beginning. And of course, universal security policies that don't cover mobile specific threats. Here we're talking about patch controls, for example, that don't map perfectly to the app distribution and update models that are available on mobile platforms, or the phishing controls that are necessary, not just in corporate email, but across the entire mobile communications device. Customers tell us that the greatest challenge with managing mobile is that the full set of capabilities required to really unlock the potential has historically been found in disparate tools that are delivered by a variety of vendors and really are not designed to operate together. Gartner, the industry analyst, has acknowledged this in their most recent market guide on endpoint management tools, where they stated that it's common for clients to seek out complementary mobility tools to address gaps with their UEM. Similarly, the largest complaint from security teams that we hear revolves around the visibility gap they experience on mobile. Jamf's own data shows the impact of this gap, where 1/3 of organizations are operating a mobile device with known and patchable vulnerabilities. And users are being bombarded with phishing attempts on mobile, with data showing that the attacks are 50% more successful on mobile, showing that it is a critical platform to defend against some of these more active modern attacks. Lastly, it's important to remember what we're all chasing here. Organizations want to see business transformation come out of their mobile embrace. And to achieve that, they're going to have to connect and empower workers while also managing mobile first tooling and addressing the threat realities that put workers at risk. We know that IT and mobility teams are under tremendous pressure, shrinking budget, tool consolidation demands, leaner staffing, and console fatigue. But the expectations have not changed. You're still expected to deliver enterprise-grade security, a high-performance compute environment, and a seamless productivity experience for every user on every device. And that is inclusive of mobile. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you have the right purpose-built tools available to enable the experience that you're ultimately trying to deliver on this new modern work environment around mobile. And I realize here that this might be a good point for some of you that are new to Jamf to just take a moment and provide you with a brief introduction on why we're here talking about mobile and the modern workplace today. Jamf was founded in 2002, and we currently serve just over 76,000 customers around the globe. These customers are collectively managing and securing 34 million devices on our platform. And as you can imagine, we work with organizations of all sizes, including the biggest companies in the world. We're proud to have 8 of the top 10 largest companies, 9 of the top 10 largest retailers, and 15 of the top 20 U.S. hospitals as customers. We help organizations to do more with mobile across a multitude of industries like aviation technology, financial services, government and defense, manufacturing and field services, along with retail and healthcare. We serve 7 of the top 10 technology companies, 21 of the top 25 most valuable brands, 8 of the top 10 largest companies. But to tell you more about the capabilities that you're here to learn about that we are bringing together to help mobility teams transform work, I'd like to bring Emma back into the conversation. Emma, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. Really bringing it back to where we started today's conversation. There has been this increased adoption of mobile devices, and technical teams are really needing to find a way to meet and keep up with those evolving demands. And, finding a mobile first partner truly enables them to do more with those mobile devices. And this is where our solution, Jamf for Mobile, can really help. It provides all the capabilities needed to unlock transformational mobile experiences through a layered tech stack that's all configured and deployed by Jamf. Our platform and capabilities, which we'll dive deeper here in a few moments, enables you to achieve mobile optimized workflows that unlock and help you realize your digital transformation initiatives. So, core capabilities around identity and application access. This will ensure that your employees get access to their role appropriate application quickly and, most importantly, securely. We also have capabilities around app risk assessments and remediation. This will give you complete visibility into the status of your applications and software, so that way you can avoid security risks associated with outdated apps. Also, capabilities around mobile threat defense. This will provide you insights on the devices, apps, and networks, but also enable you to work with cross functional teams and collaborate them on implementing a secure environment. And lastly, and most important, the foundation, which is device configuration and compliance. This will allow you to do threat remediation and policy control on the devices and also configure the required security settings to ensure users and organizations stay secure and productive. So again, in the next couple slides, we're going to dive deeper into the core capabilities on what Jamf for Mobile offers. But we also wanted to cover how we ensure that every device in your fleet meets the configuration standards, protects employees from risky applications and web threats, and enforces consistent organizational policy. This truly is made possible with our Apple first approach, which enables organizations to preserve and extend that native mobile experience users expect while providing admins the flexibility to securely manage their entire fleet. So, this is regardless of form factor. So, think smartphone, tablet, smartwatch, major operating system, and ownership model. We really are offering a solution that's optimized for Apple, flexible for any fleet. So that way you can secure and extend and optimize every mobile device and end user experience in your organization. So let's jump into those capabilities. So, first, the identity and application access capabilities. So, we think holistically about how we bring the user into the device and how we connect that device to application in a way that actually maximizes the end user experience and productivity. So, this is done by making sure that employees get access to applications quickly and ensuring the app is appropriate for their role. It's also important that the business can manage those applications over the entire lifetime. With Jamf, you can ensure apps are up to date and secure, but also only trusted users on sanctioned, safe devices are authorized to access work apps and data via ZTNA. We believe in privacy, aka data separation, especially on BYO devices. Apple's account-driven user enrollment creates two accounts on the device. So, an organization has no visibility into a user's personal apps on their phone. So, the organization will have only control or insights into the work account itself. So complete separation from the personal account, only the work account. Next, going into app risk assessments and remediation. So, Jamp offers capabilities to give you complete visibility into the status of your applications and software so that way you can avoid security risks associated with outdated apps. We'll also give you visibility into risky apps by providing you the tools needed to monitor for sideloaded apps, third party app stores, malware apps, and dangerous and risky permissions. We'll also assign risk scores to each app that way, it will extract more information and continuously improve the accuracy of this score prediction as more information becomes available. So you can review the risk levels and scores for apps or app versions to determine whether they pose any risk to your organization, devices, and data. This risk score will also help you remediate threats and prioritize your work. Another important thing is that when vulnerabilities are discovered, the security team is notified right away so that way they can get on top of fixing them. Next, looking at our mobile threat capabilities, first starting with vulnerability management. We actually have a report that scans for CVEs published in the National Vulnerability Database belonging to NIST, or those discovered by our very own Jamf Threat Labs team. So, for those that aren't familiar, what Jamf Threat Labs is, Jamf Threat Labs is a group of experienced threat researchers, cybersecurity experts, and data scientists that investigate the future of security threats. This allows us to continuously build up the security capabilities in our Jamf products. So, what this allows you to do or enables you to do is gives you real time monitoring and helps you create custom detections and policies to protect those devices and blocking of suspicious and unwanted activities. It will also give you complete visibility of actually what's happening on those devices. So, this includes things like jailbreak detection or if an operating system is out of date. What we also provide the capabilities to help you collect, stream, and visualize telemetry. So this will help with any threat hunting, investigations, or audits that your organization is performing. And you can also stream this data into any leading SIM tool, including Splunk or Elastic. Moving on to device configurations, but really taking a step back, when we talk about device configurations, we talk about purposeful device configurations. So, what this means is that you're actually able to configure those devices for the user or use case, whether it's for frontline workers, for corporate teams, or if it's a kiosk device. This is all possible with first zero touch deployment. So, this gets employees set up quickly and easily with the applications and settings they need without IT ever having to touch the device. And then specifically for deployments that are for shared use cases, you can dynamically change the device state based off of who is using the device or why the device is being used. When looking at provisioning flexibility, you can actually customize the device to each user and their unique need and their job functions. And then, even before the device is in use, so moving to compliance, you can actually enforce compliance requirements to any regulation, benchmarks, or industry standards. And then, part of the configuration settings, really the most important part, is providing usable devices that your users will be excited about. So, Jamp helps you preserve the native mobile experiences, all while applying the protocols for a device to be ready for a work environment. So, these restrictions could be, restricting access to Apple Intelligence or a specific web browser. And earlier we talked about Jamf Threat Labs, but to truly help your organization do more with your mobile devices, improve your overall security posture and user experience, Jamf for Mobile is powered by our real-time threat engine. So this will provide you broad coverage across a wide range of risks. It's continuously being improved on to ensure your organization operates with timely intelligence and accurate policy actions. Jamf Threat Intelligence brings together data science so that delivers near real time machine learning powered decisions 24/7 to protect your users from zero-day threats. It also brings together threat researchers, like we talked about earlier with Jamf Threat Labs. So, this is like performing those cutting edge malware research and providing human oversight over the system. And then lastly, it brings together third party inputs. So, this expands coverage by incorporating input from partners and research collaborators into the engine. And so with Jamf Threat Intelligence, it helps you with configuration vulnerability insights, app risk assessments that include malware, data leaks, encryption analysis, as well as web threat protection, including real time phishing blocks and the ability to disrupt mobile malware commands and control, and other zero-day protections that result from research publications. So for example, like when we look at Jamf Threat Labs, they actually recently discovered an exploit that attempted to bypass Apple's TCC and incorporated these findings into defense policies. So, really, it is an all encompassing threat intelligence and robust intelligence, really, that keeps your organization ahead of cyber threats. So now that we've covered all of the core capabilities of Jamf for Mobile, you're probably wondering, what does this look like in action? So that's why I wanted to bring to the table one of our customer use cases, specifically our customer rituals, and how they're enhancing the retail experience with Apple devices and Jamf. But before getting into it, in case folks aren't familiar with Rituals, Rituals is a luxury brand and well-being company with over 1,000 international stores, with more and more opening every week. As the company expands, every employee is given an iPad or iPhone to use at work, with over 15,000 devices deployed. And you'd think this is probably a giant team managing those devices. Well, it's just three staff members. But with the help of Apple and Jamf, these staff members are able to easily deploy, manage, and secure all their devices at scale. And this allows the wider organization to work together more collaboratively and seamlessly. In fact, with simplified access to corporate services and IT approved apps, employee onboarding is fast and support requests are actually down by 28%. So, really, with the partnership with Apple, Jamf, and Rituals, they're really empowering their store associates to provide exceptional customer service and increase customer loyalty and deliver a full omni-channel experience overall. Before we open up for questions today, we wanted to recap what was covered. As technology continues to advance, industry needs shift, and work environments transform, mobile devices are becoming essential, may even say critical, for supporting business operations and driving growth. As organizations increase their adoption, technical mobility teams need to ensure they have the proper mobile first solutions and workflows in place to truly transform what their mobile devices can do. All the capabilities that we covered today, identity and application access, app risk assessments and remediation, mobile threat defense, device configuration and compliance, all of these are included in our Jamper mobile solution in a single offering. That's right, in a single SKU. Our mission is to simplify mobility workflows while providing you with everything your organization needs to stay secure and unlock transformational mobile experiences for your employees. And with that, let's open it up for questions.